Scorpio, hello. Welcome to your reading for the partial new moon solar eclipse in Scorpio, which will be forming tomorrow where I live. It will be forming tomorrow, I believe, everywhere in the world. On the 25th of October. The time escapes me currently, but I believe it's in the morning here on the east coast of the United States anyway. So this is a reading. However, these readings are timeless. So if you are coming across this message and it is not October or the eclipse in Scorpio, yet you're still resonating with the messages, this message is for you, as time is not a straight linear line. It is cyclical. We circle back to energy often. So Scorpio, this is quite intense energy in your sign, which Scorpio is the most intense sign of the zodiac. We have a lot of heightened tension and heightened emotions that have been brewing and boiling up to the surface. Saturn stationed direct over the weekend. So that momentum will start to move forward, and Saturn is Father Time, but Saturn also highlights our boundaries, our restrictions, those that we impose on ourselves and those that are imposed on us by the outside world, outside forces. Saturn's not all bad. Saturn is about self-protection, healthy boundaries. There's always duality within an energy, but Saturn is a tough one. It's a tough cookie to contend with. And with Saturn still in a tight square to Uranus, the planet of liberation, we have a lot of duality playing out within ourselves internally and externally. And Venus is also in Scorpio now, in a conjunction with the Sun, exact during this eclipse. The eclipse is falling at 2 degrees of Scorpio. And Venus's star point is activating things within relationships. What we need to, what may have been denied, suppressed, hidden within ourselves emotionally, it's coming out, whether we like it or not. I also want to point out that Pluto is playing a role, because Pluto, for a specific generation, the millennial generation, their Pluto placement is in Scorpio. So a lot of Pluto activity, anywhere we have Scorpio in our chart, will be activated and in play, so to speak. So that an entire generation is deeply affected by this intense, yet partial, thankfully, partial lunar eclipse. Okay. So with all that said, let's see what comes through for you, Scorpio. I know that there's a lot of, with the heightened emotion, there's also, we tend to run into paranoia. Our minds come up with a story that seems to be the worst case scenario for whatever we're experiencing. So be mindful of that. And be mindful of your reactions to things. It's going to be it's going to be really challenging to not impulsively react to things. But if you are already aware of this energy, and trust me when I say last night I had my own experience, so I'm aware of the energy. It's so intense, it pulls it out of you. It's not even, it is an impulse, but it is such a strong trigger. So be mindful of that. Just be aware that collectively, as a collective human, we don't fully understand yet, collectively, emotions and what important giant role our emotions and feelings play in life. We're still living in the emotional dark ages as a human collective, which we're trying to get out of. We're trying to get in touch with our feelings, express our feelings, and we'll only get to know what's really real about ourselves when we admit the complete truth about how we feel about things, about how we feel in general, all the time. If this whole world could just walk around so transparent and able to just show how they're feeling at any given moment without fear of judgment or rejection or backlash, what a different world we would live in. We're not quite there yet, but we are trying to get in touch with our emotions, how we feel, especially how we relate to each other. Okay, Scorpio, so let's see what comes through for you in the cards. You may find that animals are reacting to this energy a little more excitable than usual. I had a cat fight that woke me up last night. We were also hit with some pretty heavy solar activity on Saturday. So Scorpio, your first card out, listening. It's important when you're engaged in, when you're engaged in either confrontation or just important dialogue with another. I know that you have things that you want to say and express, but it's also important to truly listen. Listen to what the other person's saying. Try to get on board with what the other person is going through, experiencing, and feeling as well. This is key. So it also help your mind from building a story linked to your past pain, your past trauma, the worst case scenario. So listen. Listening is key. And if you're looking for deeper messages, even within this message, key words, key sentences, key things that resonate, listen deeper. See where they take you. Ooh, I got the chills on that one. Speaking some truth there. All right, Scorpio, what else? What else for Scorpio? Here's an important one. Okay. So Scorpio, whatever you're going through, whatever you're processing, whatever you're experiencing right now, make sure that you hold hope for your highest desires of outcome. Harmonious peace, I'm hearing. Keep the hope alive. Do not give up, Scorpio. This is definitely a challenging time, especially for the sign of Scorpio, or if you have very strong planetary placements in the sign of Scorpio in your birth chart. Hold hope, hold your vision, keep hope alive, keep your heart open. Oh, it's gonna be it's a doozy, but it's all meant to show and expand and grow and change. We are also evolving collectively. So whatever is going on right now, try not to take it at face value. It's very challenging to do so, but stay in your heart. Listen, put yourself in other people's shoes. Even though you may know that you see truth, you still want to engage in the feeling aspect of it all. Listen. And there's key messages for you through listening too. Hold that hope, positive outcome. Not to be disillusioned by situations. We also want to listen to find if we've been wearing rose-colored glasses about a situation. That's becoming very apparent for many. A lot of people having the rug pulled out from under them. Or feeling like you just got hit in the back of the head with a 2x4 by the universe, like, bam, wake up. This is truth. I've been trying to show you this. I've been trying to open your eyes to this, and you are denying the truth. I had one of those too. So keep breathing, keep hope alive, keep your heart open, because still, even if you got hit in the back of the head like I did with a universal 2x4, it still is not what it appears to be fully. We have to truly listen through this transit, through the entire transit, through the eclipse tomorrow, all the way into the next 2 weeks to the next eclipse, and then some time after that as well. So right now we're in a deep squeeze, purging. We're unpacking, unlayering false layers or protector layers of us so that we can be more vulnerable. We can feel and express our feelings wholeheartedly, authentically. Okay. I just got a lump in my throat, Scorpio. Okay. Right. It's important. It's important to stay honest with yourself and with others. But as long as we're honest and truthful with ourselves, we can't be anything else but the truth of ourselves. Let that flame burn away anything that's false about you, that you may be still projecting onto yourself or out to others, a persona, a belief, and let go. Let go of the story that your mind is trying to repetitively tell yourself right now. And this sinks low, this sinks deep. This not only sinks into your current experience, but it brings you back to maybe certain words were projected at you, maybe certain behaviors and things were projected to you, and they take you to a place, inner child, take you to trauma and pain. And then the mind starts to analyze the situation and it wants to build a story right then and there. I'm telling you right now, Scorpio, let go of that story. You don't know the full story. You don't know the full picture. And it's important to let go also of aspects of you that you may still be clinging on to for protection that you don't need anymore. It mostly is the inner protector right now. And the critic, the inner critic is also telling you there's something wrong with you, or you're crazy, or that, you're causing pain and heartache to others by being yourself. Let that story go. You're worthless. You're not going to make it. All of those things, negative self-talk, let that go. Yeah, because this energy is very trickster energy. Don't let it deceive you. There's so much. And Scorpio, you can go deep into things. You know not to take things from the surface. Don't be deceived by this energy. There's an energy surrounding you, Scorpio, that is still in denial, that is still rigid, that is still playing in the third dimensional matrix realm of materialism only, and not able to see the bigger picture, not able to expand into their authentic true self, not denying their own true feelings, and just playing a very Saturnian role right now with you. Don't let this fool you. Don't let this fool you. Yeah, this is the time, this void in between. The in-between period is where you can summon up your magic, your power to create great change within yourself, which eventually ripples out into the outer world that you live in. So don't become rigid, and don't deny your feelings either, Scorpio. All right. But realize whatever's happening, whatever's playing out during this eclipse, it is deceptive energy. It has its purpose. It serves its purpose to bring out layers and parts of ourselves that we have a protector that's like, no, I will not show that part of myself. It's coming out, or it's already come out. But don't let that take you down. Instead, learn about that part of you and why you suppress or deny or hide that part of you. It is part of you. It is your inner child, and you want to dialogue with that. So let's get a little deeper into this. I'm not going to be doing extended readings for this eclipse energy. I feel like it's so important that whatever comes through, the full messages come through to everyone. So with that said, I have a lot of energy coming through right now. All right. Okay. We're going to see if I can get the cards in here more. All right. A little more space here. I keep getting drawn back to this hope card. That is probably, and it is the one I believe that fell on the floor. That is very strong. Don't give up hope on your dreams, on the positive outcomes that are possible. Don't let this energy fool you, Scorpio. And you internally know this. Also, one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac, most intense signs in the zodiac. Very magical, but your power can be used anyway. And so a lot of times we're not fully aware of how much power our emotions have when we project it out into the world and how that affects other people. So we're learning that too. All right, Scorpio. Well, I'll take that. The more you listen, the more you truly listen with your feelings, with your senses. This is more than just, I hear what you're saying. This is like, I see into you. I get you. I'm feeling you. The more you do that, the more you move ahead, you move away from this deceptive energy, from deceiving even yourself, when we can actually acknowledge that we're all connected and that we're all pieces of each other, fragments of each other. We can relate to how others are feeling. We typically have even experienced, even if it's in a very small way, something to the degree of what another is going through. That's empathy, to have compassion and empathy for the other, even if they're projecting nastiness to you. Now that's a gift. That is alchemy. This will propel your journey forward. Okay. Deep. And you will learn something about yourself, about energy, and how powerful you truly are in this world through your emotions and your energy. We actually get a chance to really prove to ourselves how powerful our energy, which is our emotions, energy in motion, emotions, how powerful those emotions truly are. And we can create great change. Yeah. So again, don't give up. Hold that hope of positive outcomes for yourself during this moon cycle where things are not as they appear to be, where we're being illuminated at subconscious levels, but it's not playing out in the front stage right now. So it can be deceiving in the mind. The mind can create those stories and we can get stuck in these feedback loops of our old trauma, old pain, worst case scenario. Don't go there. And if you go there, you pull yourself out of there as soon as possible and get back to hope. Get back to hope. This energy is no joke. It is powerful. You have the power to change this. You have to do it within yourself. It's not controlling or manipulating anybody else out. They are all going to seem very stubborn right now, Scorpio, because this is internal. This is an internal alchemizing change that you're creating within yourself. Be that change. Got the chills all over. This is so much truth coming out right now, Scorpio. And then we're on to the honesty card. Well, yes. Because when we're honest with ourselves, when we're honest with how we truly feel in all scenarios, all the time, we can see how life is reflecting to us our parts, our inner child parts. We are having the giant cosmic mirror shining on us, highlighting our fears, highlighting our doubts, highlighting all of the things that we are saying about ourselves, and it's coming out from other people, and it's nasty and it's scary and it's intense. So know that this honesty, being honest with yourself and accepting all of your parts, loving all of your parts, you're going to learn, you're going to get so much out of this reflection. Not pain. Don't let it pull you into that pain cycle where you spiral all the way down, and then you got to sit in your darkness for however long you do, and eventually go through the purging and the crying. And if you do, that's fine. That's great. That's purifying. That is beautiful. But if you don't need to, what I'm saying is, if you don't need to go there, continue to work on swimming up, elevating up, out of whatever the stories of the mind's telling you, out of, because it's so unknown, Scorpio, right now. I'm telling you, don't let this energy deceive you. All right, letting go. Want to cry. And Scorpio, if you need to cry, let it out, because whatever's boiling up, I have this lump in my throat, whatever's boiling up, don't hold it, express it, even by yourself. Some of us are afraid to express our emotions because they're so intense, because other people are affected. So if you have an emotionally safe person that you can do this with, beautiful. If not, do it with yourself. Talk to yourself, write it down, however you can get it out and express it so it's not stuck in the head, in the mind, where stories can be written. Oh, so another thing that the cards are saying to let go of. There could be some ego involvement, that maybe you're having a little back and forth with another. Maybe it's a family member or a partner or a really close friend that you've always kind of bonded more on the ego level as far as like achievements and accomplishments and things like that. You lift each other up, but you also kind of compare and like, look what I can do. Like, so you're like proving yourself to yourself, but another person too. That's what you want to let go of. Let go of having to prove your worth. And instead, open your heart to just sharing the love that is within you with another. This is what's going away, Scorpio. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. Let go of that. Open your heart and just connect. And if the other person's not ready to connect yet, then just know, all right, disconnect from whatever engagement is. There could be like a lot of defensiveness, being defensive over what, the accomplishments and the things that you've achieved. Maybe you're just being told that, you don't work as hard as I do and you're lazy or something like that, when you're like, no, you have no idea how much work I'm doing. And that's what you just don't need to prove yourself to somebody on this aspect. This is old. This is Saturn. That's boundaries, guards. Just let that go and connect to the heart. Bring in the emotions and connect at a deeper level when it's time. Just give love if you don't feel like there's a reciprocity in the back and forth right now, because it's going to be foggy for a few weeks here. Know that there's a reason why things are happening, Scorpio. As everything in the universe, there is a reason for everything. There are no accidents. There are no coincidences. Things happen for a very specific reason, especially when most of the collective is still not fully conscious, not living from the heart, not navigating life from their emotional body and their senses. They're more still in the brain and more following with the logical mind only. So a lot of the times some energies come in and really start to break down things that people were really believing. It brings a lot of disillusionment, but it also happens for a reason. It's an emotional awakening collectively. But just know, for you, Scorpio, whatever's going on right now for you, there's a very deep and important reason. There's lessons, there's growth and wisdom and emotional maturity for you and for others. But focus on the self, focus on your emotional maturity and growth in this process. Anything else? Scorpio. And this is Sun, Moon, or Rising, or Venus. If you have Venus in Scorpio, this is affecting you as well. And then, of course, the millennial generation, all with Pluto and Scorpio. Really highlighting that generation right now. Okay, beautiful. So the more we listen, and we listen with the heart and with the emotional body, and we move forward in a forward motion, we are moving to a new beginning, something that's tangible that we can actually experience here on the planet. And that is a beautiful energy that is co-created with the higher realms, with the higher self. So these are things that, like, they just happen. We didn't really put forth a whole lot of like physical effort into them, but they are things that we've hoped and desired, we've kept held hope for. And as we move forward, when we get out of our way, when we get out of the ego and get out of our way and in our heart, this is when we can actually start to experience in real life the manifestations that they seem like miracles. They seem like you can't make it up. It just happened. I don't know how to explain it. You can't explain how some things come to be. Well, I can, but like for all intents and purposes, I will tell you that for the general consensus is like, I don't know how that happened. I'm not really sure. It's energy, and our energy is powerful. Right, King of Cups. That's why we want to be in the driver's seat of our emotions. Emotional intelligence as well. Understand what triggers us. Understand all of our parts and know that we have vulnerable parts and accept that. Love them. Nobody is a big solid piece of steel. We all like to act like we are, but no. Get in touch with the emotions. Don't let them drive you. You can interact with the emotions instead of having them take over you. Because Scorpio, again, you're very emotional. You're very powerful. But we want to use that emotional field, that power, that energy for the things that we hope, the things that we desire. And not to just create more worry and anxiety and fear. Beautiful. And when you're honest with yourself, the beautiful thing about that is this card speaks of your tribe, the people that you're comfortable around. You may be starting to attract more of them into your life, which is also a beautiful thing. Or they're coming back into your life from their own part of the journey to support. We're all coming back together to support each other because we're all going through some really challenging things right now. But also know that, we can help reflect things to each other, the positive things. Help to lift each other up instead of tear each other down, because that's just something that we as humans have been doing for way too long. Competition and comparison. And what's the point of that? We don't need to keep tearing each other down anymore. Help lift each other up. Tell me about letting go. Okay. What else? So when we let go, this is just reiterating again. When we let go of the need to prove our worth to others, and we set out on our own personal journey with our own internal knowing and wisdom, the Hierophant, this is the The Hierophant is linked to Chiron. It can be linked to the stories we tell ourselves also, which you want to let go of the stories we tell ourselves that are not in alignment with the truth, that are not in alignment with your highest good. But this is, you know, a mindset. This is taking the steps. This isn't even mindset. This is, you know, when you wake up in the morning, make practical steps to change your patterns of thinking and being and acting so that it is more in alignment with the way you desire to live life all the time. Letting go of, you know, being pretentious, needing to be right, also discontent and boredom. This is more contentious, pretentious, needing to be right and like, I won that battle because I know all. Let go of that too, because truly, Scorpio, nobody on this planet knows all. You may definitely have your spidey senses and you're understanding what's going on, but there's still more for you to actually get out of it. We don't need to point, and we have the Chariot again, we don't need to point out other people's shadow to them right now. We're going to reflect it back to them just by being us. Actually, we're going to reflect it back to them by being in our heart and with our own empathy and compassion. That's what's the driving force forward for you, Scorpio. Let's get you an advice card. We'll pull from Numerology. There's always something in it for us. The universe is always speaking to us, especially when heightened emotions, when we're in conflict, when we're afraid. That's when it's like, the universe is watching now, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to react the way you always did? Or are you going to see this like, oh, I see this as an opportunity to snap out of that and see what this is actually all about from the universe? That's when you know you're in a higher trajectory for yourself, when you know you're seeing a situation from a bird's eye view. A new romantic cycle begins. Now, this doesn't necessarily need to be romance as in sexual partners, but romance as far as your connection heart to heart with another. Intimacy. Into me, see. We see into each other. We feel into each other. We're not hiding any parts of ourselves. That cycle is going to be beginning. We just got to get all this yuck and mud and sludge out of the way, which is what this dark moon is doing for us all. Okay, prosperity lies ahead. So things are going to pick up ahead. Know that you are not going to stay in whatever cycle you are in right now. Things are going to turn around, and you may be feeling like a little unhinged, a little not so secure. That's going to turn around as well. Anything else for Scorpio? It's time to take action. And what I'm getting in New Moon in Aries is it's like baby steps. Don't just jump into something, because remember what I said about impulse control. But the action steps you want to take is towards a new perspective, not to fall victim and not to play the blame game with anybody, but again, rising above the situation, listening a lot more, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and see what else is being reflected to you by the universe, by those that are acting chaotic around you. And that in its own is going to, that is the action truly, is just to pivot, change the way you're viewing things. Know that this is deceptive energy. It is a test. It is a challenge, a big one, emotionally. There's a reason for it. It is to assist us in letting go of old patterns, old reactivities, old stories we tell ourselves, about our situation. So that's very important. This is a very important part of the transformational process that we are all going through as we evolve into a much more unified and balanced, harmonious collective of human beings. It's not easy getting there though. So hang in there, Scorpio. Hold that hope and be truthful and honest with yourself always, and you can't go wrong. Take good care of yourself. Bye.